Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome inside the WB Mason Coach Report. Matt Durant, joined by Larissa Anderson, the head coach of the Hofstra Pride softball team. Coach, over the weekend, two doubleheaders back-to-back, Saturday and Sunday. Could have been a lot worse, but you come out with a 3-1 record over the course of the weekend. Just your overall thoughts.
Not bad. Saturday we struggled a little bit. I was not very happy with our at-bats. We did not pitch well in that second game. So we were kind of fortunate that we did come out with one win on Saturday, and then overall yesterday, very impressed in the adjustments that we made in the batter's box. We're having a hard time hitting that outside pitch. We're just a little early on it, and it was great to see that we easily made that adjustment at-bat to at-bat throughout the course of the game, and to be able to come back from behind against UConn and be able to put that run production on. I was very impressed with what we did.
We'll look at Saturday first, a 1-1 split. You get the win first, but then against UConn, it just looked like the pitching really wasn't there. Just talk about Madison Grimm's performance and what you see as being her main strength or weakness going forward, what she has to work on the most.
She's not carrying her practice over to the games, and that's really the biggest thing right now. Seeing what she's able to do in practice, and even when we're scrimmaging in her squad, she's dominating, and she's throwing in the mid-60s in practice, and she's not carrying that over to games. And it's all mental. It's not physical. I mean, the mental is carrying over to the physical aspect, but she has to just become more disciplined in game situations. And the only thing that she can experience is playing in games. And so I have to continue to put her out there, hope that she gets better every single time, create these situations so that she gains that experience. But knowing that I know she has the potential to be able to do it, she just has to start doing it in games.
Early in the game, it seemed like all she really needed was a confidence boost, and she got that from her offense in the third and fourth innings. It looked like the offense really did try to get behind her, but that didn't really do it for her. Do you think those are just the freshman woes, I guess, for her?
Or you can say that. I mean, she's never played in this environment before with the expectations. She knows verbally that every batter in the lineup can hit the ball out of the park. So it's that pressure of knowing, well, I can't miss because I know that the ball could leave the ballpark because that's the level we're playing at. So that's always going to be in the back of her head, which I think she just squeezes the ball a little bit too much and tries to be too fine rather than having that confidence that she can blow the ball by people if she gets on it, and she has unbelievable movement at times. So it's just experiencing that, and a pitcher has to experience success in order to get that confidence. But I know she can do it. She knows she can do it. She just has to go out and prove it.
We brought in Courtney Scarpato in the middle of the game. She was then due for her biggest outing of the season, her longest outing. She had only really been doing one inning at a time up until this point. So you saw her in a larger sample size. What did you see from her?
It's the same thing. She's not carrying over what she's doing in practice over to the game. And again, she's never been in this situation. Mechanically, we've had to make some adjustments so then she's able to perform at her highest ability. And it's continuing. Because we had to make some technique changes, she kind of resorted back to what she was doing before, which when she does that, she leaves the ball up in the zone. But she has tremendous upside potential, and we're going to have to rely on the two of them because we can't expect Jess Peslak to carry us through the course of the season. So the two of them have to get a lot better.
When these two pitchers were struggling, it seemed like Brittany Alaka had no problem stepping out from behind the plate, going up and talking to them every other pitch if it wasn't working. Just talk about her leadership skills and really how she's developed as a game manager behind the plate.
And she has, and being a first-time catcher behind the plate this year, tremendous experience, and really understands the game from the catching point of view. And it's tough to catch three different pitchers, and at times Grimm and Scarpato have no idea where the ball's going, and that's really tough to do as a catcher, which is why early on in the season, Alaka had as many pass balls as she did, because it's conveniently wild at the time that you don't know where that ball's going. And it's tough back there, and she's doing a very, very good job handling the pitchers, and I really think understanding their personalities and what she needs to do with both of them.
Well, day two, you come out with 2 wins. Now, do you look at the weekend, since you got 2 wins there, you don't really, do you focus as much on Saturday, on that loss, now that you came out with 3 wins overall?
I look at how they rebounded. So every game we want to get better, and wins and losses, it's how we got there. And I explained to the team that, yeah, I'm upset with the loss because I never like losing, but it's how it came about. And we didn't put forth great effort in the batter's box, and we didn't pitch very well. We didn't deserve to win, and we got better on Sunday, and really that's what I evaluate. And every batter, are they making adjustments at bat to at bat? Are they getting better, or are they satisfied with scoring early and then they coast the rest of the game? And we have to continue to put pressure on the opposing team throughout the entire course of the 4-game series.
Well, Sunday you actually got big performances at the plate from a couple of those players that didn't look all that great on Saturday. You got big days from Nikki Michalowski, big days from Kim Smith as well. Just talk about how the offense changed from Saturday into Sunday.
They disciplined themselves. And it started in our batting practice rounds before the game and letting the ball travel a little bit deeper. Saturday we were way out in front, which is why we had so many easy fly balls. You know, we were early, we're trying to reach for that outside pitch, and then Sunday they disciplined themselves to let that ball get a little bit deeper, and that's the key with everything. You have to be able to get on time as a hitter, and once you get on time, then it's the pitcher's job to try to disrupt that timing, but we really capitalized on making sure that we got on time and hit the ball hard.
A player that you used in substitution on Saturday actually got some significant playing time on Sunday is Megan Paterno. You put her in at second base for Lacey Clark. Just talk about the move to give her a little bit more time on Sunday.
You know, she had a great week of practice. She really has spent a lot of time coming in extra, figuring out some things that she needed to do in her timing mechanism. And I was so impressed with what she did throughout the week. And it's one of those things where I was like, I have to get her some time, some game experience. And Lacey's been struggling a little bit. So it was the right opportunity at the right time, put Paterno in that role and see how she responds. And I was so impressed with what she did yesterday, offensively and defensively.
When you look at the defense, it was something that we spoke about last week and the week before, that you weren't really impressed with the defense. The infield had a couple of errors this past weekend. There weren't a lot of long balls for the outfield to have to worry about, but just overall, what did you see from the defense?
They're coming together. You know, they're getting a lot more comfortable. They're reading the ball off the bat. And it's not mechanically that I haven't been impressed with them. It's the reaction of the ball off the bat. And when you're not able to simulate a lot of game time experience in practice and you can't see a live ball off the bat, it takes a little while to get used to. And, you know, being outside for the first time. But their judgment and the speed and the direction of the ball, their reaction to the ball was a lot better this past week, and I think it's just going to continue to get better the more we play.
One player that seems to be a topic of discussion so far this season is Chloe Fitzgerald. Not having the best season at the plate so far. Just what have you seen in her game that maybe changed from last season to this season to see this drop-off in her senior season? Well,
I would say this weekend she's back to normal. I think she hit above 400 this past weekend, and she was much more comfortable in the batter's box. She was reading defenses a lot better. And she wasn't trying to do too much. You know, early on in the season, seniors want it so bad, and they want to have such a great year for themselves and also for the team. And they put a little bit too much pressure on themselves. And Chloe just had to get back to what she does most better than anybody I've ever seen, is just putting the ball in play and reading the defense. And this weekend, I was really happy to see that she looked back like she wanted the last 3 years.
Another senior who's been a little bit spotty at the plate, Corinne Bailey. Her power just hasn't really mirrored last season's performance, but you're getting power in other areas of the lineup. You're getting it from Brielle Petrofes and Nikki Michalowski, Kim Smith. Just what do you think is different with Corinne Bailey's approach at the plate that really hasn't shown that flash that she showed last season?
Well, what's good is that her on-base percentage is very high and her batting average is high. You know, she isn't hitting the long ball, but she's getting on base. And I wouldn't pitch to Corinne either. So, I mean, Corinne's not going to get very many hittable pitches, and they're going to try to get her to chase the ball out of the zone, which puts a lot of pressure on her because she does have that power potential. And what's great is that everyone who's surrounding her is counteracting and being able to get the job done. So it doesn't put a lot of pressure on Corinne. And it's good to see that she's hitting some singles and doubles. She had a base clearing double yesterday, which is great to see. She'll get some pitches, and every once in a while, she'll hit a couple out. But I don't expect Corinne to hit a home run every single time, and that's not fair to do to her. And she already puts enough pressure on herself as it is, but it's great to see that she still continues to get on base and she helps her team.
After seeing you kind of disappointed after that loss on Saturday, you seem to be very optimistic about everything that happened over the weekend. Just what do you think is the main positive to take away from the weekend? Would it be resiliency?
Yeah, exactly, and their ability to respond and just the discipline in the batter's box. That's the key. We have so much potential in our lineup and so much experience that there's no reason why, we can't have double-digit hits every single game. And the runs will come as long as we're getting the hits and having quality at bats. What frustrated me on Saturday is their inability to make that adjustment. Where we weren't being dominated by the pitching staff, they kept us off balance, and we didn't counteract and make any change in our approach. We continue to be early and out in front. And the best thing I saw is Saturday, they made that adjustment. And they continued to work at every single at-bat and what they were trying to do.
This has been the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. Matt Durant, Larissa Anderson will be back here next Monday.